Welcome to our second edition of Ask Demandforce on Google Hangout. Today we'll be covering social media. So we have a lot lined up for you today. Lauren, unfortunately, will not be joining us, but we still have Shine and Tyler, if they're social media experts here at Demandforce, and they're here to answer your questions. So if you have any questions, feel free to post them on Generation Demandforce. We'll be checking that throughout the hour. And without further ado, I'm going to turn this over to Tyler and Shine.
Start?
Sure. Hello, everyone. My name is Tyler Harbaugh. I'm actually a customer success manager here at Demandforce. I've been working at Demandforce for about 2.5 years. I originally got my start on a social media team that we had here, actually, with Shine. This is Shine.
Hi.
Yeah. So for that social media team, we were actually able to help assist people with their Facebook pages, their online networks, their online reputation. So I've had a couple of roles here, but I'm excited to talk to you all about social media today.
Awesome. Hi, guys. I'm Shine Nee, and I'm a corporate trainer here at Demandforce. I've been with the family for about 3.5 years now. And actually, yeah, I started on the same team as Tyler, and we specialize in social media consultation. So we help small businesses get on gear with Facebook, with Google, with Twitter, and all those things. So you're asking the right people today for all your social media needs. So yeah, if you got some questions, we can go ahead and start.
Okay, great. So let's go ahead and start with the first question. Just covering, why is social media important for small businesses these days?
You rock, paper, scissors.
Go ahead.
Okay. Well, social media, it's been around for, I don't know, close to a decade now. We were going on Facebook for the first time in 2004, and it's really progressed a lot since then. But for small businesses, I guess it's something that's kind of really evolved in the past couple of years. And if you think you're too late, you're not, because there's still a lot of life to cover in social media. The networks are increasing in terms of user registrations day by day. Facebook happens to have over, I think, 1.3 billion people now. So there's a lot of potential to reach out to potential customers there. So it's also a great way, because a lot of people are spending a lot of time in these networks, whether it's Google or Twitter. People are logged on with their mobile devices, on their phones, checking these things. So if you have a strong presence on that, then you're going to have a strong reach. You're going to create brand awareness, and you're going to have people thinking, hey, like these guys have a strong presence. They're in tune with this generation. They know how to use technology. They're probably business savvy. I might want to check them out. So it's definitely something to look into. If not, get a great foot in.
Yeah, absolutely, Shine. And something that I always say when I'm having these conversations is the fact that it's free word of mouth marketing. It's completely free. And on top of that, this is, these networks are places where your clients, your patients, your consumers are going and spending their time, as Shine mentioned. Half the US population, over half the US population, is on Facebook themselves. So again, this is where your consumers are and spending their time. So we kind of want to intercept that, be able to get your brand and your message in there.
Okay, great. Thanks, guys. So I know you mentioned a little bit about Facebook, and that's great because we actually have a question from Ashley on Facebook. She's getting a lot of likes on her Facebook business page, but what's one way that she can convert those likes into appointments?
Well, there's a lot of things you can do. If you guys are a Demandforce user, actually, we encourage you to send out email campaigns to all your existing clients. You can dress them up. You can have some kind of incentive. For example, if you're a dentist, say 25% off your teeth cleaning from this date to that date. If you're an auto shop, you have a free oil change or lube, from this date to that date. There's a lot of things you can do to convert these online customers to offline people coming into the door. There's only one aspect, it's kind of honeypotting, right? Now, what you also want to do is have a strong online presence in terms of reviews. If you don't have reviews, then you probably don't have the kind of credibility that people, in my generation or even older, want to see. So like Tyler was saying, word of mouth is probably the strongest factor in terms of what people trust when they want to try a new product or a service. So if you have, a couple of great glowing reviews, that's really, really going to factor people or sway them into coming into your doors.
Yeah, actually, that is a good question, and I think that's something that business owners are trying to figure out all the time. We have a Facebook page. We're getting likes. We're getting some interactions. Now what? What can we do? How can we generate business? How can we bring people in the door and create appointments? And I had seen one of our salon customers use Facebook in a really neat way, in a really engaging way that I think was working pretty well for them. So they'd create different kinds of posts, which is something that we always say, shake it up, have different types of content, whether it's images, text, asking questions, things like that. So they were shaking it up, having different kind of posts. And what they would do is they would pepper in products and services every now and then. So they'd say something like, relevant right now, happy holidays, just wanted to wish your family happy holidays, Thanksgiving's around the corner, post a funny Thanksgiving comic, something like that. But at the same time, they'd put in an image of a new brush or a new conditioning treatment that they would have. So it's just kind of seeping that in there, and it's kind of a subliminal message of saying, hey, we do have some really awesome products, or we do have a great service that we'd like to get you in for. So it really engages people with a different type of content, but at the same time, keeping it applicable to the business and saying, hey, this is fun, we'd love to interact with you, but at the same time, we do have this discount, 25% off XYZ, we do have a new product, we'd love to see you come in. So being sure to change it up, and also just be sure to pepper in that stuff when you can to keep it, to keep it applicable to your business, to make sure you're bringing people and engaging them. But the bottom line is, you want them in, so do what you can to kind of have those subliminal messages.
Kind of to piggyback off that, there's an interesting fact about the potency of your posts. So you really, really want to monitor how effective your posts are, right? You don't want to just send a line out and hope for the best. With these social media, what's great about these social media networks is that you can really see the type of engagement you're getting, rather than just the likes, rather than just who's looking at what. You can see how effective your posts are within the first X amount of time, right? So, for example, if you're throwing something out there on Facebook or Twitter, if you're not getting that kind of engagement within the first 3 hours or 180 minutes of a post, then that means you might want to re-strategize, right? The half-life for a lot of posts these days is pretty short, so you have to make sure to target that at the right time when you think the most amount of people are looking at your content.
Great. So looks like we have a good coverage on Facebook so far, and let's move on to Google. So what should businesses know before they tackle Google?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think the first thing that you should know, if you don't already, is that Google is the #1 search engine in the world. Whenever people are looking for information, looking for businesses, looking for anything really, they're going to Google to find out their answers. Specifically new business. Okay, so they're typing in key terms based on the area that they're around and the service that they're looking for. So know that this is where people are going to look for information. And I think on top of that, being sure that you have a presence, because Google has business pages that for the most part are auto-generated for most businesses out there. When these business pages were first being created, they actually scoured the internet for information on businesses that were out at the time. And pages were auto-generated for these businesses. Now, sometimes if you got skipped over for new businesses that are coming out to you, which happens, there isn't a page generated. So what you can do is actually go to google.com/business, search for a page to see if there's one out there, and if not, you can create one for yourself.
Yeah, good point, Tyler. So just to backtrack just a little bit, Google has been around for a really long time, and what they're really good at is finding the what and the where, right? So the what can be things like product, services, things of that nature, and the where is basically it can be done by zip code, by city, by things that are super, super local. So I guess the name of the game now for a lot of small businesses is identifying where you're at a very hyper-local level. So the more specific you are in terms of servicing a particular area, the more targeted you become. And instead of being lost in a general search, for example, if people are searching for dentist San Francisco, there's going to be a bazillion results, right? But if you narrow that down by being really specific, I'm in this particular neighborhood and I specialize in teeth cleaning or implants, things like that, the more kind of visibility you're going to get. Also, like what Tyler was saying, Google, to get a presence on Google, again, I can't emphasize enough, you want to go to www.google.com/business. Super easy to remember. And what's cool about this is that Google actually released a relatively new platform that kind of redoes everything they've done in the past for when servicing small businesses. It used to be a big mess out there, but this past June, Google just redid everything. They made its interface really, really simple to follow, And yeah, there's a little dashboard, and it looks kind of like Facebook. You have a posting box, you have an area to look at your reviews, you have an area to see how effective your posts are. So again, just go there, and they have a step-by-step instructions on how to actually claim a page and how to build it out. So again, you have to always nail these 3 things. If there's 3 things you have to always remember, know this. It's going to be your name, address, and phone number, NAP. And if you always get those 3 things consistent, then you're going to have a much more unified and strong presence. So yeah, NAP. And get that on Facebook, get that on Twitter, make sure it's always consistent.
Right, Shine, that's what I was going to say. It goes for not just Google, but like across the web as well.
Yeah.
Whether that's even your Demandforce account, ensuring that all your information is consistent across the web, not just one avenue, whether it's your Facebook page or your Google page. Make sure that it's exactly the same across the web. Facebook, Twitter, anywhere. Your business name, address, and phone number. It's all crucial that it matches.
You can't stress this enough. NAP, N-A-P. Okay.
Okay, great. So you guys touched on how you really optimize their Google listing and make sure that they're showing up in search. Does that relate to SEO and how they can optimize SEO? We do have a question from one of our customers on the top. What are the top things that small businesses need to do to boost SEO?
Shine, I'll let you take this one. You're quite the expert in the area.
Oh, SEO. That's a really fun and interesting topic. The thing is with SEO, is like a lot of small businesses, they actually go external and hire an SEO like advisor or company that kind of helps them like optimize that stuff. It's really technical, and Google kind of has like a secret sauce in terms of what they're looking for optimizing your page. So that being said, there are some general guidelines that you do want to follow. Like I said, if you have consistent business information throughout the web, whether it's on Yelp, on Google, on Facebook, or whatever else, if you have a lot of content, that really helps too. So maybe you have a lot of posts. Let's see, if other places are referencing you, or if you're published somewhere, that also really helps as well. Let's see.
We're looking for those clicks, right? Whether clicks on your business profile page from Demandforce, clicks on your website. Anytime that other people around you click on that link, it's going to help increase your search rankings.
Yeah.
And ultimately your SEO. But I don't want you to get confused and think that if you spend a day clicking on your website link a million times, it's going to help you out. No, it's got to be unique to people around you via different IP addresses.
Absolutely. And also, it does pay to really be unique. Now, if you have a particular service or business name that kind of sets you apart from everyone else, like always try to bring that out more, whether it's in the content that you write or the products and services you have, or a consistent brand name. More of that you have, the more that you'll kind of stand out. And also, what I was saying earlier is you want to go more hyper local than before. So if you're like a business servicing the greater New York area, you want to be like, okay, well, we service like this borough. Maybe we're just in Queens or something like that. And again, be very specific in the types of services that you have. The more specific, the better.
And even with content on their websites, right? Isn't when it comes down to descriptions on your website, the first sentence that you have, just be sure to load it with buzzwords pertinent to your industry and the services that you provide, because those buzzwords that they can put into that content is easily findable, right? That's the kind of stuff that Google's pulling up.
And there's other things too, like meta tags. You should have a web developer look into this, where you can kind of tag for Google search robots to look for it. Like, these are keywords that your website has, and once you kind of link that up, have your website, link that up to your social media spots, and again, have that consistent brand, and it's really going to help you out. One unified presence.
Okay, great. So it looks like we covered Facebook and Google. Next, our next social media channel, Twitter. What are the recommendations that you guys have for that?
That's you.
I love Twitter. Shine and I have talked about this before. He's not too big on Twitter, but I mean, it's not for everybody. I absolutely love it because it's short and concise, and my attention span is pretty quick.
You said it.
So, I mean, Twitter, if you're not familiar with Twitter, it's a social network based around a platform of 140 characters. So very short bursts across. I've seen it used by a bunch of different industries, but keep in mind that, it's really created for, like I said, these short bursts of information. And there was a quote that we read recently about, the fact that sharing items on Twitter can be something as intricate as a link to a collegiate article or a study or something like that, or someone can tweet about what they have for breakfast. So as mundane or as simple or as intricate and complex and interesting as you want. It just really depends how you decide to use the network. Mm-hmm. So think of it for quick-based items. So let's say if you have a different kind of sale or different promotion going every day, great use for that. If you want to snap a picture of people working in the salon or the shop or your office, show people what they're doing and say, hey, look what Bob's up to right now. People like to see that. People want to see what's going on in your lives, just like they're going to see what's going on in their friends' lives. Just keep in mind that 140 character limit there's no ifs, ands, or buts around it. That's the only way you do it. So try to craft something with a great call to action that is short and concise. And you don't necessarily have to use all 140 characters, by all means, no. You can go to many corporate sites, like Taco Bell has a great one. Shine and I are a big fan of that.
Huge fans.
And they, it's interesting how much branding and how much messaging they can get across with such a short burst of information. So yeah, there are ways to get around that character limit. There are link shorteners like bit.ly, bit.ly. There's another one called tinyurl. Now, what these services are going to do is if you have a long sort of maybe a link to your blog, you want to link people to that, what it's going to do is you can pop in this link, copy and paste it into this program, and it will take a link that's maybe 120 characters and shrink it down to maybe about 12. So that way you have more space to get your message across and it can help you out. But definitely don't be afraid to share pictures. I think that's a really, really great use of it. Just being very visual is always a great practice within social media.
So with my limited time on Twitter, I have learned a couple of things. I think that there's that saying, brevity is wit, and Twitter is definitely the place to kind of show that off. So once you get familiar and comfortable with the lingo, you can really blast out some engaging, unique content. And what's interesting is, you hear a lot about celebrities, famous people, breaking timely news on Twitter, and it's kind of a unique. How often they're going to hear, say Donald Trump posting about something, or Warren Buffett, or any kind of celebrity, right? It's a place where you see a lot of interesting things. You see a lot of high-powered people communicating with each other, and businesses are no exception too. You have a lot of businesses issuing statements or linking timely articles on that. So if you want that first glance, Twitter is often the place to go to hear, these bites directly from the source, rather than through spokespeople or PR or any kind of other buy agency. So as a small business, you really have that agility to look around you and see what other businesses are doing, to learn off of them, you can learn off the Twitter power users and kind of apply the same kind of recipe to your social media plan.
For taking advantage of that last minute kind of time sensitive sort of thing called newsjacking, and essentially saying, you're taking the news, what's relevant right now, and applying it to your business in a way that can bring people in. So, for example, I mean, when I was in my Twitter Prime, which is actually pretty recent, using it quite frequently, sharing
last
things.
Week.
Not last week, a couple months ago. So about 5 months ago, we had, I'm sure you might have heard, there was a big earthquake in Napa County. So that's just about an hour north of here. We're in San Francisco. I live in downtown San Francisco.
3 in the morning.
Yeah, 3 in the morning, jolted me awake. My bed started shaking, and it woke me up. First thing that I did was grab my phone and I checked Twitter, and I wanted to see what all my friends were saying because it's right here, and I can see if I woke my friends up or what other people were saying. And I found that there were tech writers that lived in the area. There were friends. Oh my gosh, did you feel that? Is everybody awake? What's going on? Kind to assess the situation. So you can take that as a small business, and say maybe the next morning tweet something out. Hope everybody is all right. We're thinking about you. Please let us know if there's anything that we can do, right? Kind of a small but awesome PR opportunity for you to reach out and say, you know what, we're a community business. We care about you and want to know that you're all right.
Yeah.
So that sort of thing.
Another cool thing is, I don't know if you guys remember the Super Bowl from, 2 years ago?
Yeah, a couple years ago.
So there's I guess the final game at Candlestick Park, and there's a huge blackout. And during that time, Oreos or Nabisco or whatever the parent company is, they made a crazy ad saying blackout doesn't matter, you can still dunk
your Oreo.
Just like your Oreo.
They made this picture of an Oreo dunking into a glass of milk.
Yeah, so that's like guerrilla marketing, and it's super timely, and it's only on Twitter. That kind of content that we can be super exclusive with. Yeah.
Cool. So with Twitter, we know that there are such things as hashtags. I think a lot of us have seen that awesome skit by Jimmy Fallon and Justin Timberlake. Thank you for the hand there. So what are some recommendations that you guys have for hashtags?
Yeah, I mean, essentially hashtags are a way to literally group together and tag physical words and items to anything across the web.
Buckets, categories.
Exactly. So you're kind of looping things together. I'm a big tech nerd when it comes to startups around the area. So I'm constantly looking about new news and taking a look at the headlines, what's going on that day. So if I'm looking at something about a new mobile app, definitely can be like, okay, hashtag mobile, hashtag application, hashtag iPhone. So that way it's going to create a link within that tweet. Now, these hashtags are also available on Facebook and Google+, I believe.
Twitter started it.
Yeah, Twitter actually
propagating to all the other social networks.
So what it'll do is turn into a link, a clickable link for people to take a look at other conversations about that. So this can absolutely pertain to you in case you're saying salon or auto, oil change, anything. You can hashtag literally anything, but keep it broad so that a lot of people are going to be able to find that hashtag.
Yeah, I mean, think of it this way: like, pretend you're a dentist or auto shop or whatever, and you're at some kind of convention. Maybe you're at CDA, maybe you're at Napa Regional, whatever. If you have that hashtag, you can see what all your competitors, what all your, I guess, allies, whatever, are doing at that time. So it's another way to really keep track of who else is out there, discovering new people, and you can honestly just start making networks, start seeing what other people are doing. And that can really help out your business cycle too.
And a good idea is to create your own custom hashtag for your business. I know this is really applicable for, let's say, salons.
Yeah.
When we're doing up to use for prom season, nails. Girls like to take photos of these and put them on Instagram, put them on Facebook. It's a kind of thing they show off. You've done a wonderful service, and they're wanting to show off how great it looks. So if you ask them to kind of create that awareness in the salon and say, we have our hashtag. If you post anything online, please use our salon's name, the hashtag right here, and then that way people will be able to see different items, especially applicable on Instagram. Yeah. People will be able to click on that hashtag and see all photos that have been associated with that hashtag. It compiles them into an entire list, which is pretty neat. I know useful for the new thing now is hashtag weddings.
Yep.
So couples are creating their own hashtag. So that way people will be able to click on their, the Harvey wedding hashtag and then see all the photos that people have tagged with that hashtag.
Yeah, great way to group stuff together. Take it a step further, and if you're a business, they offer some kind of incentive, like mention our business or hashtag it, and you're putting drawing for, a discount for one of our services. So I've seen that more and more frequently. So go ahead and try experiment, and just make sure that you have the population base enough.
And if you're enticing them to actually hashtag, be sure you're asking them to check in as well. It's the checking into your physical location that's also a really, really big win as far as social media and SEO goes too. That's definitely going to help out your SEO.
Mm-hmm. So how does checking in work? Can you explain that to our customers a little bit for those who might not be familiar?
Sure. So the majority of people will have a mobile phone on them when they come into your business. Now, Shine, if you want to pull up on Facebook or a different application.
Yeah, I'll pull up Facebook.
Great. So on Facebook,
I'm checking the Demandforce actually.
Perfect. So what's great is, they're coming in with these smartphones and the capabilities of being able to go to Facebook.
You can do this backwards.
It's all right. Go to Facebook, click on a feature that says check in.
Check in, top right over here.
Now, once they click on check in, they're going to be able to select from different businesses.
What is around here?
So as you can see, let's see, right here, we have Demandforce.
This is all based off your proximity to it. So like phones are really, really sensitive in terms of what's around you. So you can find local business super easy. I click on that and I can make some kind of statement. So I'm here at Demandforce, I'm giving a webinar, or I'm here at the salon getting some kind of treatment. Again, it's word of mouth marketing like Tyler said earlier. And your friends like, oh, where's this place? They click on that link and they'll see your physical location. And honestly, they're that much more inclined to check you guys out.
Right.
Having the best time here at Demandforce post.
Right. So on Facebook, it'll be physically linked to your business. So people will be able to click on, oh, Shine's at Demandforce. Clicks on Demandforce, goes to the Demandforce page. Now, it's just going to be great because, especially for something like Instagram, if you do utilize Instagram, you can click on that physical location, and it'll show all the images that have been tagged with that location. So think of it like a hashtag as well. Anybody that checks in, it's going to show those aggregated photos as far as that physical location.
Yeah. If you have a lot of check-ins, you have a lot of reviews, and you are seriously like a legitimate business on social media. So accrue those as much as you can. Encourage that in your customer behavior.
And there are different types of, there's one called Foursquare. That's a check-in specific application. They check in on Yelp. Again, Facebook, as we just showed you, Instagram, and I believe they can add a location to Twitter. So it's a capability that spans so many different networks. So you can even, I've seen businesses create like an 8x5 11, print out a sign that says, please check in, and have kind of the Facebook logo or any sort of logo, the Facebook logo.
Just post like a physical sticker outside of the business. So.
Some people are going to say, oh, well, I'm here to check in and tell my friends that I'm here.
Yeah. So another thing just popped in my mind. So like, yeah, there are so many different social media networks out there. What if you are on all of them, but you kind of don't have you're on some kind of time crunch where you can't manage them all individually? There's kind of these things called social media aggregator platforms, kind of like a TweetDeck is one example. It's a great example, basically, where you have one command module and you have every single social media network that you have on there in one dashboard. And you can do posts, you can do your links, you can do whatever you want from that one location instead of logging in and out each of these individual locations. So if you have a social media manager in your office who's stressed out and doing a lot of different things, they can really, really save the front office time in terms of managing all these different outlets.
Yeah, TweetDeck is a good one. And then OOTSUIT, Hootsuite.
Great. So in terms of looking at all these different social media channels, what are some recommendations that you guys have for cross promotion? That's a big question from our team.
Cross promotion.
Like across different channels.
Well, earlier I mentioned that it's really important to have a unified online presence, right? So it all starts with your webpage. If you have a webpage, make sure that you have links that go to your Facebook, Twitter, your Google local business page, and that all the information is consistent. That is a very baseline that you do need. So in terms of cross promotions, I think it might be important to diversify what kind of promotions you're having on each of these links. So maybe on Twitter you have a really, really, really quick flash promotion that will last maybe 40 hours or extends into the weekend. Maybe on Facebook you can talk about some kind of events that you're having to draw more people in. Does that make sense?
And let's say if you're doing very well on your Facebook page, it's great, but you're looking to explore another page, Instagram account rather. So what you can do is you can create a Facebook post and then say, please use this hashtag, upload a photo so we can find you, we'll give you some sort of discounted item, right? So you can add a promotion to kind of lead them to a different account, but they have to be interactive because that's what you're looking for. So encourage them to be interactive, to do something, post a photo, share anything, whatever, that's fine. But encourage that interaction and then be able to offer them some sort of incentive.
Great. So actually going back to the hashtags, Ocean Electric has posted a question. Do you think hashtags are as effective on Facebook and Google Plus as they are on Twitter?
Short answer, no. They are effective. I am seeing it become this really incredible thing that what they're doing recently that I've noticed is trending topics.
Yeah.
So these trending topics are becoming really huge just because on the bottom right-hand side of the page, you're going to be able to see what's trending, what people are talking about. So if you do use hashtags to bring up really, really pertinent items, that can definitely help you on Facebook. So keep in mind that news jacking that I had mentioned. So things that are in the news, things that people are talking about. Again, earthquake, SF earthquake, was I think one of the hashtags that was used. So that's something that you can use on Facebook that will show up on the trending topics. So if people click on that SF earthquake, it'll show a list of what people are saying. So likely that your business is going to show up in that list and say, hey, hope everybody is all right. We're thinking about you. Hashtag SF earthquake.
Yeah. So hashtags were basically born on Twitter, and people on Twitter still use it to great effect, right? It's the most, people are hashtagging all the time. It's part of the format. It doesn't look weird. On Facebook, it is definitely catching on, but on Facebook, it's probably the most effective, in my opinion, just based on the sheer user size on Facebook. So Twitter has a couple million users. I think it might be 500,000 users on Twitter, but on Facebook, again, you have like 1.2, 1.3 billion people. So that's a lot more opportunity to see a huge cluster of information of what people are, tagging and grouping together. And like you said, with trending, Facebook is also really kind of they aggregate news, and they often link you to the more credible sources too. So it's not just what other people think, but it's also often linked to like mainstream media or news outlets too. So just based off of that, I feel like Facebook is the best place to test out hashtags.
Great. Speaking of trending topics, I know you guys both mentioned that, and I know you guys have both been on Facebook today. What are some examples, just like say this morning, that you saw that you think would be effective?
Recently, I've been seeing headlines pop up about the XL pipeline, because there's a big vote in that. Let's do the XL pipeline. But other things that are happening too, I know Uber has been in the headlines as far as tech goes. Some controversy there, but things that people are talking about. Okay, so again, things that are in the headlines, things that have happened on TV. She's my girl,
biggest fan,
love her. So yeah, she just released a new album, so it's going to show up a lot of these articles that are relevant for the time being. But yeah, I think that's a little busy this morning. Haven't really checked Facebook too much, but I think as of last night, that's kind of some of the items that were being shown. But think like Emmy season, when the winners come out, and music awards and different things like that that are relevant to anything pop culture, news, any big items.
Yeah, I mean, if you remember last year, there was the hashtag Polar Vortex, and that was all over the East Coast, and I bet auto shops had a field day with that. Like, come on in, we have a special where we give you snow tires, things kind of like that. So think of it from a business perspective, like how can you capitalize on a trending news topic or a season or some kind of thing that can really.
Right, and that's a good idea, because I know there's a storm right now everywhere but California. And I'm so sorry for everyone that's out there being very, very cold right now. But again, use that to your advantage. Hashtag Polar Vortex 2 or something like that, since we're the next year. But I know that there's a huge storm in the Midwest right now. Getting snowed. Horrible tragedies in New York because there's been so much snow. But again, just keep that in mind. Hope everyone's safe. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So it looks like that's our questions for today. So wrapping things up, are there any final recommendations or anything that you want to share with our audience today?
I think what I want to hit home is actually what Shine said in the beginning, is that if you think the ship has sailed, don't have that attitude, because it's never, never, never too late. There are new businesses creating new pages, engaging with fans constantly. It's continuously happening. So don't think that there's no point. And also don't think it's this big, huge thing that you have to go post on Facebook or post on Instagram. If you think Facebook is your right channel, perfect. Use it. You're not expected to use multiple channels, and you're not expected to spend multiple hours throughout the week. You're going to find what's right for engaging with your customers, with your patients, with your consumers. Find out what's right for you, and just have a nice steady line of posting. Just try to be consistent, and spend a few minutes a week when you start out. You can start out really small and kind of earn your way to a really good social plan.
Yeah, I definitely agree with Tyler. I think if you're starting out with social media, the most important thing to do right off the bat is probably raising awareness. And whether it's getting all your current customers to visit your brand new social media page and to follow one. If you don't have, a good amount of followers, and you're not going to get a word of mouth, and you're not going to get that, trickle effect where friends of friends are going to see your business. They're not going to see people checking in. They're not going to see the reviews. Again, first step, get all those people that you currently do business with, their friends and their family, to visit you, and maybe even incentivize that somehow. Step 2, I would definitely make sure that all your information is up to date, accurate. Like I said, NAP, name, address, phone number. At least get those 3 right. Beyond that, we have a lot of resources in our community. Jen can point you in the right direction. So we have a lot of social media webinars on just Facebook, on just Google businesses, on just in-depth beginner and intermediate and advanced webinars for that. So if this just starts your itch for social media, please check those out. We have a lot of examples of visuals. It's all in the community, and Jen can link those. So if you want those resources, don't be afraid. Ask or search.
All right, now we're going to pass you on back to Jen. Thanks, everybody. We appreciate it.
Bye.
Appreciate your time.
Enjoy the rest of your day.
All right, guys, thank you so much again for joining us today. Really appreciate your time today. Shout out to Ashley, Body to Soul, and Ocean Electric for your amazing questions. I just wanted to thank Shine
you,
and
Anna.
Tyler.
Thanks.
Anna, that was a shout out to you from Shine. Hope you heard that. But I just wanted to thank Shine and Tyler as well for their amazing insights today. If you have any, don't hesitate to post them in Generation Demand Force. I'll be sure to get you guys your answers. And like Shine mentioned, I'll be posting the answers to those webinars as well. Thank you, and we'll see you again on the next version of Ask Demandforce. Have a great day, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.